When a young teacher arrived in a provincial town, a widow and her daughter decided to have fun with a man. He married the mother, but all his time was spent with a pretty stepdaughter, who enjoyed getting a new experience from a grown man. The couple went traveling and have fun outside the house. On the way, the girl met her strongest love. However, she continued to have fun with the professor. It's Mr. Narrator and a new retelling. Watch on to find out who the heroine stayed with. Enjoy the movie. Humbert recalled a summer in Cannes. There, at the age of 14, he met his first love, Annabella. Humbert spent 4 marvelous months with the girl. Annabella showed him things that the hero had only dreamed of before. Afterwards, he experienced her loss, but went on with his life. 26 years later, the hero was traveling to New England by train. He became a teacher at an American college. Arriving early, Humbert found out that the house where he planned to live burned down. The man took up residence with a widow, Charlotte Giss. The woman gave him a tour of the house. In the garden, Humbert saw Dolores. The girl was lying on the grass under the sprinklers and leafing through a magazine. After a while, the hero watched how Lo collected clean things in a basin. Dolores was a very nice girl. She reminded him of Annabella. The window of Humbert's room overlooked the courtyard. Making entries in his diary, the man watched the scene below. He saw Lo saying goodbye to her friend Mona. The man devoted the entire day to work. Humbert was compiling a French literature textbook for American students. The hero switched on the radio when Dolores came into his room. The girl woke up from the sounds of the song. The man apologized for the noise, but the heroine went away. Humbert followed her. On the stairs, he found Lolita's trousers. The girl herself was sitting on the floor near the fridge eating raspberries. Humbert watched her. In the morning, the girl was tidying up. Her room was opposite Humbert's room. The hero could see everything she was doing through the ajar door. Her mother asked the girl to clean her room, but Lo was bored. She came to the professor. At first, the girl took the chair opposite the man, but then she sat on his chair. When Charlotte went up to the first floor to talk to the guest, Lolita instantly ran away to her bedroom. Later, Dolores brought Humbert breakfast. Charlotte was going to church. The woman offered her daughter to go with her, but Lo refused. The hero watched their conversation. After a while, the girls together with Humbert rode on a swing near the house. The heroine asked the professor to convince her mother to go to the lake. She believed that Charlotte liked a man. At the same time, Lo was flirting with him in every possible way. The girl wanted to become a dancer. She invited her mother and the professor to watch her new dance. The next day, they went to the lake after all. On the way, Charlotte tried to get Humbert's attention. At home, Dolores quarreled with her mother. The girl did not want to go to the camp that Charlotte had arranged for her. Under the hot hand of Lofel and Humbert. When the heroine's suitcases were loaded into the car, the girl remembered that she did not say goodbye to the professor. She burst into his room. Lolita jumped on the man and kissed him on the lips. Humbert was dumbfounded. Through the window, he watched Charlotte's car pull away from the house. The man went to Dolores' room. He lay down in the wardrobe with her things. Suddenly, the man heard the maid shouting. The woman was surprised to find him in Lo's bedroom. She handed the professor a note from Charlotte. Lo's mother confessed her feelings to the hero. A fortnight later, the hero married Charlotte. For a month and a half, Humbert avoided marital duties. He used sleeping pills to make the woman sleep when the hero came to their bedroom. One day, he caught his wife in tears. Charlotte opened the man's hiding place. She read the entries in his diary. Humbert tried to justify himself. He said that his entries were the outline of a novel. The hero offered the woman a drink and a talk. He retired to the kitchen. Suddenly, a phone call sounded. A stranger informed him that Charlotte had died. Humbert thought the call was absurd because a few minutes ago his wife had been sitting in the room. However, she was not in her former place. There had been an accident in the street. The hero ran out to the scene of the accident. The policeman showed him the woman's body. Humbert felt bad. The girl in the bunny hat gave the professor the letters that Charlotte had carried to the mailbox. The professor informed the policeman that he would be at the house. He needed to recover from what had happened. At the house, Humbert drank, burned the letters, and gathered his things. He decided to pick up Lo from the camp. On the way, the man booked a hotel room. Dolores was happy to see Humbert. On the way, she asked about her mother. The man didn't tell the girl about what had happened to Charlotte. Lo decided to change clothes in the back seat of the car. She decided that Humbert did not miss her. That's when the hero stopped the car. The couple started kissing. Suddenly, a policeman drove up to them. The girl climbed out the window and flapped her eyelashes. Humbert and Dolores arrived at the hotel. The man was clarifying the circumstances of check-in with the receptionist. Lo crawled on all fours to the dog. The dog's owner, Claire Quilty, said his dog likes nice people like Dolores. In the room, the girl resented the fact that they would be sleeping in the same bed. She thought her mother would leave the professor if she found out about it. In the evening, the couple had dinner at a restaurant. The girl had fun and watched the man she met in the hotel lobby. In the room, Humbert helped Dolores to take off her shoes. Lo wanted to tell the man about her behavior at the camp. However, the man told her to go to bed. He locked the room door with a key and went downstairs. The hero went out to get some air. A man in a white suit was sitting on the veranda. Quilty began to ask the professor about Dolores. He invited their family to dinner, but Humbert declined. When the hero returned to the room, Lo was asleep. The man changed into pajamas and lay on the bed. The girl slept restlessly. Humbert could not sleep. He went to drink a glass of water. Suddenly, Dolores woke up. She asked, also thirsty. Until morning, they slept in the same bed to the sound of the rain. In the morning, the professor woke up before the heroine. He pretended that he was still asleep. Dolores woke the man with a kiss. She whispered in Humbert's ear about what she was doing in the camp. The man was surprised. Lo decided to show him visually how she had fun. Later, the heroes left the hotel. Humbert wanted to know if she did it with her friend from the camp. Lo didn't want to talk about the subject. She asked to stop outside the pharmacy. The girl joked about him picking her daisy. Dolores went to the pharmacy. At that time, Humbert had the windscreen in the car wiped. When she came back, the girl wanted to call her mother at the hospital. The professor told her to get in the car. He told Dolores about what had happened to Charlotte. The girl pined all night. Humbert comforted her. The heroes decided to go on a trip. In the car, Lo was having fun. She distracted the man from the road. The couple stopped at one of the motels. The professor went to freshen up. Lo switched on the magic fingers on the bed. After enjoying the vibration, the heroine teased the man. He talked about how nice the temperature in the shower was. The girl flushed the toilet. The temperature of the water in the shower dropped dramatically. Humbert's screams amused Dolores. Later, they hit the road again. The girl chewed a candy. The grinding of the caramel against her teeth annoyed the man. He took the candy out of Dolores's mouth and threw it out the window. The couple spent a lot of time on the road. Humbert was teaching Lolita how to drive. They played a lot of tennis and had fun together. Sometimes the man was visited by thoughts of going back and starting to work at the university. In the next scene, the hero took a girl who had fallen asleep into a hotel room. In the morning, she watched comic books. The man helped Lo to relieve her tension. Later, she was alone in the room. Dolores turned on the radio loudly. She was sobbing, hugging her pillow. The hero saw it through the ajar door. After a while, the couple came to a town with a girls' gymnasium that Charlotte talked about. The female students were splashing in the swimming pool. Humbert was on his way to have a conversation with Miss Pratt and Reverend Rieger. The headmistress told him about the core values of their gymnasium. These included plays, dances, and meeting the boys. Back home, the man cleaned up and read the newspaper. Then he braided Dolores's braids and asked her about rivers. The girl could not answer any of the questions, but she danced well. Finished with the dancing, Lo renewed the varnish on her feet. She informed Humbert of the upcoming play. The hero did not approve of her participation in the play. Then the girl decided to play with the professor. She wanted him to raise her allowance to $2 a week and let her act in the play. Dolores ran her hand down the man's leg. When Humbert agreed, Lo pleased him. During the rehearsal, the Reverend explained the play's points to Lolita. The hero watched the rehearsal. Dolores's friend, Mona, showed the professor the author of the play. Lo tried to get into the role of the witch. In the evening, the couple had fun in bed. The girl demanded more money from the man. After a while, the professor was summoned to the gymnasium to discuss his daughter's behavior. Miss Pratt was worried that the girl was not interested in boys. The headmistress insisted that the man tell Dolores about mammalian reproduction. Humbert was informed by telephone that the girl had skipped piano lessons. She explained that she had been practicing in the park with Mona. The man did not believe Lolita. He called her friend to confirm her words. Humbert realized that the girl had told her friend about their special relationship. The heroes began to quarrel. The professor wanted to know where Lolita hides the money she takes from him. He was sure that the girl wanted to escape. Humbert gave the girl a slap on the wrist. Dolores got hysterical. She beat up the professor and rode away on her bicycle. It was raining heavily outside. Humbert went to look for Lo. He saw her in a cafe. The heroine was chatting on the phone and smiling. When she saw the professor, she asked him to buy her a drink. On the way home, she asked to leave the city. The path of the new trip wanted to make up Dolores. Later, she waited for the man upstairs at home. The girl wanted him to take her to bed. After a while, the heroes left for a new journey. Lolita drew their way on the map with lipstick. The girl planned to climb the Red Cliff in 4 days. One day, Gerbert thought someone was following them. The girl was eating a banana. The professor asked her to write down the license plate number of a car that was following them in Connecticut. The man thought they were being followed by a detective. At some point, the stalker disappeared. The hero wondered if someone was really following them. At one of the stops, the professor went into a shop. Dolores was putting on lipstick in her car. Through the shop window, Humbert saw a stranger approach the car. Lo was smiling happily at him. The hero hurried to the car, but the stranger had already disappeared. As they drove through the woods, Dolores peered out the window. Behind Humbert's car, another auto appeared. Suddenly, the professor lost control. Their car went downhill. The hero got out of the car to call for help. Lo stayed inside. The stranger stopped, but was in no hurry to get out to meet him. Humbert walked towards the stranger. The man decided to drive away. Turning around, the professor saw that his car had started to roll downhill. He was worried about Dolores. Humbert caught up with his car and asked the girl to apply the handbrake. Lolita wanted the professor to thank her for her help. As they continued on their way, Humbert checked the license plate number of the car that was following them. The record was messed up. Humbert became angry. He punched the girl in the face. Crying, Dolores ran out of the car. The man caught up with her and apologized. At the hotel, Dolores lay on the bed. The professor brought her magazines. He went into town to get bananas. Lo switched on the pataphone to make it more fun. In town, Humbert went into a barber shop to tidy up. The radio said that the author of the play Lo was in town. When Humbert returned to the hotel, Lolita was sitting on the bed wearing his shirt. She claimed she had just woken up, but the hero was sure she was lying. The girl was leaving the room. The professor checked to see if everything was all right outside. He was sure she knew the man who was following them. Humbert asked her to tell the truth. Dolores laughed. The heroes dropped the tension and fell asleep. In the night, Humbert woke up to the sound of a thunderstorm. His condition was strange. The man saw strange things. The professor checked for weapons in his bag. In the next scene, the characters went to another hotel. Dolores caught a virus. The doctor hospitalized her. Humbert wanted to stay in the hospital too, but the doctor insisted that he go home to sleep. In the morning, the professor called the hospital. The nurse reported that the girl was feeling better. Uncle Gustave picked her up from the hospital. According to the nurse's description, the man who took Lo from the hospital was the same man she knew with the little dog. Humbert went to the hospital. He tried to find out more information about what was going on. In a fit of anxiety, he beat up the doctor. When the orderlies dragged the professor away, he saw a policeman at the window. The hero apologized and left. For 2 months, Humbert searched for Dolores. He traveled to all the places where the stranger stayed, but the search was unsuccessful. The professor returned home. When he cleaned his car, he found a pile of rubbish left by Dolores. After a while, Lolita wrote a letter to Humbert. She informed him that she had married and was expecting a child. The girl asked the man for money. Humbert blew off steam by shooting the rag. He went to the address Dolores had given in the letter. The girl was surprised to see him. Lo invited the professor into the house. In the courtyard, Humbert saw the girl's husband, Dick. It was not the one who had taken her from the hospital. Dolores confessed that she had gone that day with Claire Quilty. He was the only man Dolores loved. Quilty wanted to make a video with her. Lo was against it. Then the man kicked her out. Humbert looked at the girl and realized that he loved her. He offered the heroine to go home with him. The professor gave her money, but it did not help to convince the girl. Humbert left on his own. In his eyes, Dolores was still the same Lolita. The hero went to the house where Quilty lived to get revenge on the man. Claire told the hero about Lo forcing him to take her to a fun place. The professor chased the man all round the house. A car is traveling along the road among green fields. Humbert is sitting behind the wheel. In his hand, the man holds a hairpin. The weapon has traveled down the seat. The hero corrected it and plunged further into his thoughts. He stopped in a meadow among the cows. The policeman caught up with the man. It was the film Lolita from 1997. Write in the comments, do you think Humbert and Charlotte would have had a chance to build a family if her daughter hadn't intervened? What do you think of this young and spontaneous relationship? See you in the next retellings.